Hello, Storytime friends. How are you today? I'm so glad you came to visit with me and to hear some fun stories. So it's December, and December is a fun month in the winter because it's full of all kinds of holiday celebrations, right? Right now at the library, we have done some fun things. We have a Christmas tree up. You should come and see it. And if you're interested, we also have some kits you can take home and you can make Christmas ornaments for our Christmas tree. It's kind of fun. And when you make one and you bring it to hang on our tree, we have a special treat for you. So next time you're out and about and come to the library, remember to get a little kit to make a Christmas ornament. You can make it here or you can take it home and bring it back later. Okay? Should we get started? I think the fun thing to do is start with a song. How about, if you're ready for a story, take a seat. If you're ready for a story, take a seat. Clap your hands, stomp your feet. Now make your hands all nice and neat. If you're ready for a story, take a seat. And our stories today are actually also about Christmas trees because they're a fun holiday thing that you see a lot of this time of year, don't you? Some of you may even have Christmas trees at your house. I don't have one up yet, but I will soon. I like to do a Christmas tree with kids. It's fun. So our first story is Night Tree. I think you'll like this one. My screen is doing something strange. Okay, Night Tree. You guys see that? Okay. On the night before Christmas, we always go to find our tree. We bundle up so we're warm. Nina is already wearing her boots that are too big for her. She has been wearing them all day. Dad sets our box in the back of the truck with the rest of his stuff, and the four of us squish into the front seat. We drive through the bright Christmas streets to where the dark and quiet begin. Nina is almost asleep in Mom's lap when we stop. Are we there? I ask. Dad says yes and rolls down the windows so we can smell the tree smell. We scramble out. There are oaks growing here and alder and maples that are bare now and white in the moonshine. The pines and the spruce and the firs are green. This is called Luke's Forest, but Dad says it's not really a forest, just a nice forgotten place where our town ends. Dad goes first on the path between the trees, carrying our box and the big red lantern. Mom and Nina go next, holding hands. I come last with the blanket. It hasn't snowed yet. It's so cold, and my breath hurts. The sky is spattered with stars, and the moon, big as a basketball, slides in and out between the treetops. Dad's lantern sweeps ahead. Look, he whispers. We stop. A deer is watching us. I see the brightness of its eyes. Then it turns, and it's gone. Here's our tree, Dad says. It has been our tree forever and ever. We walk around it, touching it. It's grown since last year, I say. Mom puts her hand on my shoulder. So have you. So have I, Nina says. Nina hates to be left out. An owl hoots deep in the darkness. There are secrets all around us. Can I put on the popcorn chain, Nina asks. She hops up and down and right out of one of her boots. Mom helps her put it back on. Nina takes one end of the chain and I take the other, and we wind it around our tree. We've brought apples and tangerines with strings on them, and we hang them from the branches. It's hard to hang string loops when you have gloves on, but it's too cold to take them off. For weeks, we've been making balls of sunflower seeds and pressed millet and honey. We hang those too. We scatter shelled nuts and breadcrumbs, pieces of apple underneath for little creatures who can't climb very well. Our tree looks so pretty. Mom says I should spread the blanket so we can sit and admire our tree. She has brought a thermos of hot chocolate. I take off my gloves and toast my hands around my warm cup. Dad turns off the lantern and we stay quiet, hoping some of the little animals will come while we're here, hoping the deer will come back. But it doesn't. It's shy, says Dad. I'm shy too, Nina tells him. Before we leave, she and I get to choose a Christmas carol to sing. I choose "O Come All Ye Faithful." Nina chooses "Old MacDonald Had a Farm." That's not a Christmas song, silly, I tell her, but Mom says it's fine, and a very nice song too. We sing fast because there's a lot of verses, and it is getting colder. After the last EIO, we gather up our things and head for the truck. I look back once. Our tree has folded itself into the darkness, but I think I can still see stars caught in its branches and the moon swinging lopsided on top. Nina gets tired and Dad has to wrap her in the blanket and carry her. I carry her boots. Later, in bed, I think about our tree, and sometimes, next day, when the aunts and uncles and cousins are at our house and it's noisy and happy, I let my mind go back to Luke's forest. I think of the birds having Christmas dinner and the squirrels and the possums and the raccoons and the skunks. There might even be a bear because Dad says bears don't really sleep all winter. And if one's going to wake up, I bet it would be to wake up for Christmas. Maybe a fox has come, stepping high on its thin, sharp paws, and they're all there together, singing their own Christmas songs on Christmas Day around our tree. That was a really fun story. I really liked that one. How about you guys? Do you ever think of animals having Christmas together? That's kind of silly, but also a fun thing to think of. Okay. Story number 2, also about Christmas trees. This one says, Christmas Farm. Did you know that they have whole farms for Christmas trees? They grow trees just for people to have for Christmas. That's kind of cool. All right, this is a little bit of a wide book, so I'm going to try to keep it all in there. Wilma had grown petunias and sunflowers for years. She was ready to graduate to something else, but she couldn't decide what. When snow fell on the last sunflower stalks, Wilma still didn't know how to make her garden different next year, and now there was Christmas to think of. On her back hill, Wilma had looked in July for the right tree to cut in December. Her Christmas began when she went for the one she had chosen and brought it home to her parlor. But before she wrapped the green branches with lights, she thought of people who had no back hill. Where would they find such a fine tree? Then Wilma knew. She knew what to plant instead of petunias. She needed a shovel, string, scissors, time. She needed good brown earth, and she had them all. So Wilma ordered 62 dozen small starts of balsam for spring. She was pretty good at counting by dozens, so when she made donuts on Saturday mornings, she always made a dozen. But 62 dozen was a lot of trees. She would need help setting them out. She would need Parker. Parker lived next door. He was 5, like the seedlings. Every 4th of July, Wilma and Parker made a parade, waving flags and banging on pots and pans. At Halloween, they made jack-o'-lanterns. Parker had helped Wilma grow sunflowers. He would help again. As soon as the ground was warm, Wilma and Parker began using balls of string. They measured 24 straight rows. Then they dug 62 dozen holes, and they planted 62 dozen trees, 744 trees. Whoa. That is a lot of work. Will they be ready by Christmas? Asked Parker. No, said Wilma. The trees had to grow through the summer, the fall, the winter, the spring, and then they had to grow some more. While they grew, Parker told the trees about Christmas. He knew all about Christmas. To keep the grass from covering their trees, he and Wilma weeded around each one. Then October leaves blew across the trees and November's snow began to fall. Before winter's end, some of the trees were lost to mice that ate their stems and roots, but 719 remained. The young trees woke with the spring, and again Wilma and Parker weeded around them, and Parker told them things. Now that he was 6, he knew even more than when he was 5. On summer nights, brown moths fluttered among the trees, fireflies flickered above them, and whippoorwills called across the darkness. Then fall came again, and winter. During the long, cold months, some of the trees were lost to deer that dug in the snow to chew the sweet green tips. But 673 survived. When Parker came to help with spring chores, Wilma had been shopping for a tractor. She chose a blue one with a horn, though there was nothing to honk at except the sky, the ring of mountains, yellow dandelions, and Parker. Wilma let him try the horn. Parker would have liked to drive the tractor too, but 7 wasn't old enough for that. The trees weren't old enough either. When Christmas came, they were still too small to cut, so they slept through another winter. Again, some were lost to mice and deer, storm and ice, but when spring came, there were 652 left. Wilma mowed, Parker ran among the rows, counting. 652 was a big number to count, but Parker could do it now that he was 8. All summer, can you guys still see that? All summer, bobolinks decorated the trees. Then fall came, winter came, snow came. Moose cracked some of the branches and chewed them, but 617 trees survived. That summer, the trees were 9. It was time to shape them. Wilma and Parker worked together. Now that he was 9, Parker could reach almost as high as Wilma. Some of the trees they left as their branches had grown, for people who like trees that way. The rest they trimmed round and round for people who liked them that way. Soon the trees would be Christmas trees. One more winter, the trees slept under snow. Only 2 were lost to ice, 11 to moose, and 7 to deer, but 597 remained. It was a busy spring for a boy and for trees. Turning 10, Parker and Wilma painted a sign. It said Christmas Farm. Then they built a stand and they bought tags, 50 dozen. At the end of the summer, they put up a second sign. It said trees for sale. Some people came in August to choose a tree and tag it. Some came in October. More came in November. The most came in December. All month, Wilma and Parker were cutting and carrying and sledding trees and making change from the money box. They sold 356 trees. Then a family who had a Christmas tree lot in the city came and bought another 210, filling their red truck to the top. At last, it was time for Parker and Wilma to choose their trees. That night, across the yards, Christmas twinkled. Far away, too, in rooms they never saw, in places they never knew. 566 trees that Wilma and Parker had grown were lights and balls and tinsel in their branches. Green balsam branches that smelled the sweet smell of Christmas. Back on the hill, the 29 trees that weren't chosen began winter again. Parker told them they would grow tallest for people who wanted tall trees next year. By spring, new green would appear where each cut tree had been. One tiny sprout would become a new trunk. The trees would grow back on their own. But some sprouts might be crooked. Some might be chewed, and there was room on the farm to start more. So, one Saturday night, each eating a donut, Wilma and Parker filled out an order for 83 dozen new seedlings. Then they waited for spring. Wow, did you know it was so much work to grow a Christmas tree? Have you seen the decorated Christmas trees at the library outside? We have 2 trees that are alive and planted in the ground, and we just decorated them like the first story. And at nighttime, the lights come on and you can see them. I hope you get to see them sometime this winter. That would be kind of fun. Okay, I have one more story, friends. And I bet you can guess what it's about. Christmas trees. Who recognizes this guy right here, though? That is Little Blue Truck. Little Blue Truck has Christmas too? What does he say, friends? Beep, beep, beep. December's here. Little Blue Truck is full of cheer. Every Christmas, Little Blue has a delivery job to do. Look at that. He's at a place where they sell trees. Toad's Trees. 5 trees ready to take a ride. How many trees will fit inside? 1 tree, 2 trees, 3 trees. Are you counting with me? 4. Just enough room for 1 tree more. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good counting. 5 green trees make 1 big load. Beep, says Blue. Let's hit the road. Blue has friends both far and near who need a Christmas tree this year. Honk, says the goose. This big one, please. Now, how many trees are left? 1, 2, 3, 4. Green Christmas trees are left. What does the cow say? Moo, says the cow. This tall one, please. Now there are 1, 2, 3 green Christmas trees. Oink, says the pig. This fat one, please. Now there are 1, 2 Christmas trees. Ma, says the goat. This short one, please. Now there's just 1 Christmas tree. 1 tree left in a little blue truck. 1 tree left. What very good luck. Little Blue Truck needs a Christmas tree. Beep, beep, beep. This one's for me. That was a fun story. I'm so glad you guys came. I'm so glad it's December. We're gonna have a really fun month, right? And you guys, if you come to the library, don't forget to pick up your kit to make an ornament so you can hang an ornament on our Christmas tree. Or if you really want to, you can hang it on your own. But remember, there's a treat here at the library for making an ornament. You guys, I want you to have a great week, and I want you to come see me next week again for story time. Bye for now.